All right, hey, people, welcome. Checking out my Tegu content. I've made videos on this subject before. This is Sassy, my Argentine Red Tegu. It's almost 2 years old. She just had a wonderful shed. You should check out my shed video. This is a chronic Tegu that has problems shedding at different times. And man, she had a harsh one last time. This just past one, she had it for a long time, and I just didn't worry about it because I knew it would take care of itself, or I'd come up with a solution down the road. But it did. She's beautiful. Look how soft and beautiful her skin is, all the way down to her tail and her feet and her head. But this video is going to be about mixing and making your own food. I just did a big trip to the grocery store, and I'm going to cover everything that I'm going to make a great meal for maybe a month for these tegus. I have another black and white tegu, almost 2 years old, almost 4 foot long, sleeping in the other room. I woke Sassy up to put her in the video, but let me just tell you, pretty much everyone that makes tegu videos should point this out. These are not pets for everyone. There's, if 100 people want tegus, maybe 5 deserve to have them because they take so much work and so much time. They're like little children, and if you just put them in a cage and leave them there and see them once a day or see them every couple of days or don't check on them for a week, they need so much time and attention, and this is going to come in to the food. If you have a dog and you buy crappy food for your dog's not going to live a healthy, good life. And if you don't give your dog a lot of personal attention and play with your dog and greet your dog and rub your dog and get down on the floor and play with your dogs are not going to have the same quality of life as if they get great food and a lot of attention from their owner and a lot of love from their owner. And Sassy's now, she's reached her limit as far as attention. She does not like to necessarily be held. But anyways, we're going to go into the amount of time it takes to prep food, and hopefully you find this informative, and we'll go from there. All right. All right, today's video is going to be, of course, my little girl, my little red female Tegu, Argentine Red Tegu, is super ornery today, doesn't want to be held. And one thing you can do when they get like that is maybe they feel off balance, and that's why they're squirming and flipping and flopping their tail. So this is learned through 2 years of handling these animals. If you grab them really firmly by the big part of their tail, not down here at the tip, at the meat part of their tail, and you grasp it firmly, that gives them security that they're not going to fall, because these animals maybe and possibly and likely are thinking when they're up in the air that they have the potential to fall and injure themselves, and they don't want to do that. So a nice firm grasp on the tail up under the front feet, and tends to settle mine down, so hopefully it might settle yours down. It's all about holding them, because Sassy, I guess, feels unsecure being floating in the air, which is understandable. But let me just tell you first, before we get into the video, that my videos make it seem like these tegus are amazing creatures to own, and they are, and they're so easy to maintain and handle and feed, and it's just a simple thing. And hey, I want to jump out and get a tegu, but please don't. Please do your research and learn everything that's going to take to take care of these animals for the next 10, hopefully 15 to 20 years. 15 to 20 years is more likely if you take care of them and you give them a good home, because there's a lot of prep and a lot of care that goes into taking care of these animals. They need a ton of attention. Like a little small 5-year-old child. They need that much attention. If you're not giving your tegus that amount of attention, and then your tegus are likely not doing as well and probably not as happy and not as healthy. And because well-being has a lot to do with their mental health too. Cage requirements and everything. But this is Sassy. She's calmed down. I'm going to put her down so I can get into depth into the video today. All right. So what the video about today is food. There are a lot of preparation goes into making their food, and it gets expensive. And if you're not giving your Tegu a wide variety of a diet, typically if you stick with just 2 or 3 items, you can the items necessarily over a long period of time can become unhealthy. You want to do a diversity of maybe honestly probably 15 to 20 things. I'm in probably the 50 zone range of different foods that I give them, and so you're not concentrating on 1 or 2 food sources, and so they're getting a much wider variety. So that is very, very key. So today, what I tend to primarily go to is chicken livers, chicken gizzards, chicken hearts, and chicken parts, and I also have a whole lot, about $300 worth of whole prey items, large jumbo rats. Believe it or not, this is all Tegu food, frozen chicken parts, full chickens, large rats, medium rats, bags of complete chickens, and then on my door, unfortunately no food for me, so wah, sucks to be me, but chicken parts up there on the top shelf, some more chicken feet, and more mice and chicken parts. Snake is in here too, snake food. So that's what happens when you get Tegus. You better be ready to have a second refrigerator, or have your refrigerator full of reptile food. Get some baby, day-old, week-old chicks. That's just more money, and more money is just, it's tough to come by these days. But today, what I'm going to show you in the video to try to help you is that I went to the store today and bought 5 or 6 different of these little containers that I can put food in, Rubbermaid, durable, microwavable, you can heat them up. So today I'm going to make a 1 meal prep for about a month, and then put them in the different containers, and so I can thaw them out individually, because this food goes bad really, really quickly, and if you try to prep in advance, your food will turn to mush. So I got bananas. This is everything I'm going to do. Bananas, and most of these are for me, but I got some banana, and most of the eggs are for me, but I'm going to hard boil my eggs. Or you can soft boil them, really, really soft boil them if you want to do that route. But the professionals, the biologists, the herpetologists, the zoologists, they all are, the people that have dedicated and studied and learned their life of taking care of animals. I have seen say that raw eggs have an enzyme in them, and I can't remember what enzyme it is right now. I'll list it above or put it in somewhere. But you want to slightly cook your eggs, because that cooks out the enzyme, which from what I remember can cause shedding issues and health issues with your Tegu. So not a raw egg, maybe a raw quail egg, or maybe some raw versions of some other eggs, but not human grade chicken eggs. So I will soft boil those, have those. I got the bananas. I've got collard greens that I'm going to chop up. I've got parsley is acceptable. Do not do lettuce. Standard lettuce is not good for them, and I've even heard that it can over time really damage your Tegu. Damage your Tegu's health. So parsley, there's specific greens that you want to do. Also too, this is considered a green even though it's yellow. This is a pepper, a bell pepper, and so last one I had was red. This one's yellow. I'm going to cut that up. I've got some squash. They can eat squash, and so I'm going to cut some of that up. And I've got salmon, Atlantic salmon. Most of that's for me, but I'm going to cut a portion off of that and mix it in with everything. And let's see, I also got some, items that are not super expensive, probably because a lot of people don't eat them. I'm not a liver person, and I'm not a chicken gizzard, chicken feet, chicken heart anything like that. I'm not going to eat that stuff. So this is just it's beef or calf liver. So just a little bit of variety of something different, a different meat source. You know, high iron and other vitamins that are in this that are not necessarily in chicken, the chicken parts. And let's see here, I've got, they were out of chicken hearts. Chicken hearts are getting harder to find. But here I've got chicken gizzards, and I've got a bunch of chicken gizzards and chicken hearts and different things in my freezer. So you can freeze these and have them frozen for a long time. And not a bad idea to freeze things for, you know, weeks and weeks at really cold temperatures, because it you know, can lessen the chance of salmonella and some things. I'm not 100% sure on that because I know some things like that are very, very, very hardy and can be dormant for months being frozen solid. But not a bad idea to freeze things that you catch or you take out of the wild. But chickens, this is human grade, can be human grade food because it's at the grocery store. I just want to tell you, again, I bought these heat lamps at Walmart, $4.95. This is probably a bad idea because people go out and buy these and then I can't buy them for my reptiles. But this is a 250 watt heat lamp for maybe typically a bathroom where you put it up in the ceiling and you can turn it on and warm up the bathroom a little bit, or restaurants with heating, you know, cooking spots where they put the food and they want to have a warming light. $4.95, 250 watts. I won't say that these last, you know, a year. I don't know what the 4.6 year life. I highly doubt that, but my last ones lasted maybe between 4 and 6 months, which is pretty good compared to a $20 100 watt Zoom Med bulb. So GE, brand name heat lamp bulb that you can use on your reptiles. But let me tell you, when you're doing, and it's also a floodlight, so it spreads it out, you know, depending on how far you pull it away from your reptiles. But 250 watts, you want to be careful. You don't, you know, you want to have an infrared heat gun, and you want to test your surface that you're putting on because you don't want to cook your animal. So these you can place further away and still heat up. You know, with a 100 watt bulb, you're going to have to move that 100 watt bulb closer to your heating surface to get it to the temperature you want. So an infrared heat gun is very, very important. And that allows me to have a 250 watt lamp to be able to put these lights further away, because Mac is brutal on my lights. He'll bat them around, he'll hit them, he'll ram them, he'll hang from them, he'll smash them. He'll just do everything he can to destroy all my lights. And so very, very cool that they have that option. It's not a UVB specific or UVA light source, but it's just used as a heat light to warm up their spot, and they can bask from up above. Okay. Let's jump into preparing all this into a mix, and then I'll show you little snippets of that, and then we'll look at the end product. All right, here we have, just going to show you little pieces of it. I'm going to freeze, got more of the calf livers than what I'm going to need for 1 month. But I've got that in a big mixing bowl here, a metal bowl, a metal pot. And so now I've got my different greens that I talked about, my collard greens and the parsley. And so you want a really sharp knife. It just makes it so much more enjoyable and easy and actually safe, you know, with a really sharp knife. This was like a you know, something I splurged on. It was like a $90 Oriental, you know, heavy duty, super sharp, you know, holds its edge. And so you'll just want to mince up everything just like this. You can rock it and you can feel it and hear it cutting. But we're going to do that to everything, the collard greens, and we're going to cut them up into smaller pieces, and then we're going to mix it in a bowl and make it into a mash, and then divide it into the different containers that I talked about. All right, here's the pepper. Obviously, you know, I cut the bottom off, the very bottom. The top is up here. Here's the top portion with the seeds. And so once you cut the top portion off, You're going to pull the middle portion out with all the seeds. People say that the seeds are bitter and don't taste good. So here's what you're left with the bell pepper. It's kind of more the center portion. You can kind of clean out the interior if you want. I don't eat these personally raw, or some people really like them, but not me. So, but then we're just going to cut that up into edible sections for the tegus and add that to the mix. Now I get to eat my own. Cooked my Atlantic salmon for me. I cut into it, that's why it looks like that. But that is going to be yummy and good for me after cutting up all this food and preparing it for the tegus. Now it's time for me to eat. Okay, I ate my Atlantic salmon. I've got the skin left here with remnants of salmon on there. I'm gonna do my dog a big one and mix it in her grain and feed that to her. She loves fish. My dog is one of my most prized possessions. Love my dog, probably more than my reptiles. My dog is the premier, second to me as far as worth and value. Love my dog. So we're gonna mix that. I've got the soft-boiled eggs, a little bit more, maybe a little bit hard-boiled. I'm going to mix those in, and we'll be good with the tegu mash. Right now it's time to mix it all up in my metal pot. Again, mix up my shells. Put some shells in there, calcium. All right, that's it. I got Mac up to making a camera appearance. He had one of those large chickens. I mean, I don't know if they're 2-month or 3-month or 4-month old, but they're birds, man. They're big birds. And he ate. I cut the head off and the feet and the wings and feed those to Sassy. And then sometimes I'll pre-feed them to him, but he ate that big middle section. And his belly is so full. But Mac is such a sweet boy. And that's going to cap off my food container for the rest of the month. Oh, his nails are getting sharp too. When you feed them the right food, their nails, like human nails grow with good nutrition. So strong, healthy nails for a tegu, is hopefully a good sign of good nutrition. Good skin, good sheds. Good vibrant eyes, and makes good healthy tegu. We love our animals. Take care of your animals too, and consider watching my videos, subscribing. I have, I don't know, 70 videos, 80 videos of tegus and boas and all kinds of stuff. All right, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I just want to touch base with you to make sure you understand this is a porcelain socket that when you use the 250 watt bulb, extra big bulb for a heat source, you want to make definitely sure you use this type of socket that you can get at your pet store. For reptiles and chicken hens and feeder stores, so that you don't start a fire in your house. And I even went a step further and added an on and off switch to most of mine. Some of them you can buy without it and with. And I've had the other basic Zoom Eds and some of the other porcelain lights. That switch has failed. They're crappy. This is hopefully a lot more durable. So I've installed that. So just keep this in mind so you don't burn your house down and blame me.